Hey guys, another Oops, I Killed It video. Coming at you from my little project room here. As you can see, we got quite a bit going on the table. We've got some seeds drying, some acorn squash I picked. Over there's some homemade sauerkraut I got fermenting. Oh yeah, all kinds of stuff going on here at the house. But that's not what we're here about. Well, I killed it. This is, or was, my 4.5-inch angle grinder. It's a Ryobi brand, and maybe the model number's on here. Nope, probably somewhere. Well, this thing was like the $29 4.5-inch angle grinder. I bought it 3.5 years ago, and this thing has actually seen a lot of use. I've used this thing to restore all kinds of tools using the metal cup wheels and the sanding discs and all that. I've used it to cut all kinds of metal, grind all kinds of metal. It's really just seen a lot of use. I mean, a lot of use for a $29 tool. But I killed it. You know, as this stuff happens, you know, a $29 tool is not going to last forever. So I kind of wanted to show you guys, you know, that as much as it is tempting to buy some of these inexpensive tools, you have to bear in mind when you buy that cheap tool that you're getting something that's not going to last forever. Isn't it a huge deal? No, I'm going to go out and buy a nicer one now. But, you know, I thought I would get more than 3 years out of this. You know, it seemed to run really well. It was pretty decent. It seemed pretty solid. But then it started slipping a little bit. And I thought maybe it was just like maybe the wheels I had weren't like exactly correct or something. Made up a bunch of dumb excuses, but in reality, something was going on here. So, to make a negative a positive, what I did was I tore this whole thing apart. That way, in the future, if I ever do have problems with an angle grinder, I know how this stuff works. So I did take that opportunity and rip this thing apart and just be able to see the insides and the guts and how this thing works and how simple of a device it really is. Essentially, what you have is a motor with a set of gears attached that interact with a second set of gears that turn it at a 90-degree angle. And so aside from this right here, the only thing that really else that goes with it are the carbon brushes, which are fairly worn down, and that deliver the electricity to this thing. But what ended up happening with this particular thing, we'll just kind of set this back in so you can see, so it's just sitting in there. Now, when you turn it like this, everything turns fine. I thought, oh, that's good. Put it back in the machine. You can see it moves it a little bit, but not much. Once it gets under any pressure, it just starts spinning out. So obviously I blew some kind of a bearing in this so that once that's under load, it basically just stops spinning. So some kind of bearing. I went online and I thought, oh, I could fix it. I'll put my skills to the test. I'll buy the parts, fix it all up, and literally going online, I found a place that sells the parts for it, and they wanted like $20 for the parts. And for a $29 grinder, no thanks. So I'm going to get myself a new Bosch. From the research I'm seeing, it seems to be a much better brand, and it's actually made in Germany, not in China, which I think is a big plus. So I'm going to be doing that, but just had to show you again, guys. You know what? With hard use, you kill a lot of things. You know, you saw that flashlight I killed last week. Here's another piece of gear I killed this week. You know, when you're doing stuff like this nonstop, you're going to have fatalities, and wanted to share that. You know, and as much as we like to kind of say, oh, that's junk. You know, it just, we took a very lightweight, or not lightweight, a low power tool, and I pushed it kind of beyond what it was capable of. This is only a 4.5 amp motor, and I use this thing pretty regularly for restorations and all that. And obviously I took it beyond its capacities because some kind of bearing or something is blown out in this thing. So there you go, guys. You know, this is what happens. You know, it's part of life, and that's why you invest in good gear and don't buy the cheapest. I mean, this is literally the only thing cheaper than this is the Harbor Freight. Really, I mean, you can get the Harbor Freight for cheaper, but that's about it. Even then, the Harbor Freight's bigger, heavier, and probably heavier duty than this. This is a small, lightweight one, so it probably just wasn't meant to take all this. So there you go. I'm gonna put this thing back together, chuck it away, and maybe keep some for some spare parts maybe someday. I don't know. We'll figure it out.